black boot black shoes in order to return back to safety. And the only other answer that they came up with here is to have an Edith. So my question now is, do they actually have enough damage to actually chunk down a Ginniver as well as a Minotaur? And now layering in another defensive meat shield up in the forefront, it's going to be a Paquito. So damage options aren't aplenty for both of these members of MINANA EVOS.
Yeah, I see the Paquito pick now. So it is also to give them options for Smart Omega in case they need to do split pushes. Because
Be the one to get the slot to the playoffs of Kohai C Championship.
here we go. If it's Smart Omega winning this, then obviously they will go through. So MINANA EVOS, this is a must-win for them. If not, they will face off against Judo Red Giants at the lower bracket. And now, with a little bit of jungle invasion, nothing too significant as Smart Omega secures the purple buff. Valiant effort from MINANA EVOS. They wanted to do that, but I guess that's okay to put a little bit of mental pressure to Smart Omega.
Yeah, I think like just a little bit of a signal warning is just about enough for them to be holding back for the time being. Whereas heading into most part, like they don't really want to take too much of a risky attempt as well from their side. So MINANA EVOS, they will just find ways to slowly get as much gold as possible, hit that level 4 power spike, and then look for that turtle to kick things off efficiently. So you can see both sides are just having a very respectful phase heading into the first minute. But Hani is already on the approach. This Matilda is onto something.
Okay. But it's still like level 3, some of them just about level 4, so I don't expect to see like big moves just yet. Plus it's like 15 seconds before the side objective appears. That's going to be the first turtle, so they're gonna chill for now and I guess prepare for that.
Indeed, and for now, with all these members slowly making that rotation over to the top side, the Kai will get a little bit of a head start to actually pull the turtle towards the favor of MINANA EVOS for the time being.
Alright, and here we go. The turtle dance has started. Lance, who's going to be the one zoning? So this is going to be the question. Okay, Lord JM has arrived. Kazan is there, but Kazan needs to do the retribution, so he can't zone. If he goes in, that means they must win the fight first. But looks like he interchanged together with Lord JM, but Lewis is on the left side, so it's kind of hard for MINANA EVOS to zone out Smart Omega.
I absolutely agree, and it's just pretty much a sibling affair. And Smart Omega, they are just slightly ahead right now, even though after that form of contest, and it's just a very difficult stance because both sides understanding the risk and the reward of this series. As for Smart Omega, I guess like they're just waiting until they find that golden opportunity, because right now, even if they do look for that pick, they don't really have significant bursts other than maybe a pick coming in from Novaria. But over bomb side, oh my word, quite the maneuver is coming out of Joe to get himself that solo kill.
I mean, a Brody with stacked up damage is definitely able to do that against a Bruno. So definitely a win there for Jome. First blood given to him. But nevertheless, it is still early. Doming, earlier on in the previous round, he didn't have a good early game. So he's looking to fix onto that. And I guess with that first blood onto him, he might be playing a little bit safer.
Yeah, and I guess this is also the reason why Kramgot will also have to keep an eye out for some of all these movements around the map. And of course, with this, Bruno slightly behind, they will have to be held back for a little bit more. Circular Eagle lands onto Zermatt, secures it for Lance, as this Lilia will be able to burst in the nick of time. So for now, that's just a one for now, one exchange. Pretty much extended. The turtles coming up yet again. There's a little bit of challenge coming in from the Edith, while Lewis will have no problems after all over the top side to really hold him down. The Minotaur is already in position, so let's see if EVOS can actually do a quick one.
And here we go. Turtles down to 40% of health. Who's going to land that right retribution? As we can see, Lord GM will be targeted by it's going to be Kaizen landing the retribution. It goes to MINANA EVOS. And that is going to be the objective that is theirs. Very close between the two teams. 500 gold difference. Not that far indeed.
Yeah, and it's just slight advantages as they are trying to find ways to open things up. Well, this is just going to be the record being expended just to buy a little bit more time. But with 3 members out there, I don't think that there is a way out for this Edith.
Yeah, definitely not. So that's just like rotation coming from Smart Omega, right? So it's nothing too wrong about that, but maybe it's just like whether he kind of senses that they are rotating towards him or not. But to be fair, Smart Omega, most of them weren't visible on the map, so they could have gone like either way, like either the bottom lane or the mid lane. So that was just what happened.
Now, once again, looking for a target over the bottom side. They committed with the Harken Dance, and it seems like they won't be able to find anything at all. JLM just quickly flickers away, and now it's a little bit of a stalemate situation. More and more defensive stats coming across, while the rest of MINANA EVOS will need to eventually find a focus where we're just looking at all these players just getting resources, and they're just preparing for what's at stake. All the big fights that will happen around Lord later on.
Here we go. Speaking about the Lord, it's not yet up, but the turtle is going to be up about 15 more seconds. Both teams really respecting each other. It's a very different pace as compared to before, because you don't have like the Baxia who is like jungle invading and also rotating from lane to lane. Everyone's like, okay, we just stay objective. If we get a pick off, that's fine. If we don't, then that's okay as well. Speaking about pickoffs, it won't happen on Lord JM since he is tanky. Same goes for Kaizen as well. However, because of the zoning that's currently being dished out by Smart Omega, they will start the turtle.
They will have a huge control over the river side. Kaizen will have to face check this one. He's an Akai, he'll be able to survive any brunt of the damage, and Circling Eagle now spots out Lewis. He does get the steal. Smart Omega did not really come in with a swift response. And now we'll scramble to actually find an exit, but from the back, Lewis lands a KO blow, but there's not too much of damage being dealt just about yet. You see, MINANA EVOS members, they have high mobility, and some of their units are pretty hard to actually shred down. From the side of Smart Omega, it's all about buying as much time for this Brody to come into effect. So the contest over on the purple buff right now will actually go over to Kaizen. He will be able to retribute it across the block, and Smart Omega will lose that very, very swiftly. And we still see a little bit more of that wiggle room over the top side here. This is where JLM will be visited. And can MINANA EVOS actually do anything about this?
Yeah, this is the game sense for Jom, right? As if we were to make comparison with Lord JM, he kind of senses that, okay, they're done with the mid lane, they're probably going to find him at the top lane. He is somewhere in the middle of the lane, so immediately retreats back, and true enough, they were looking for him. And these are all those macro movements as well that you're aware of your opponents and surrounding. Hence, he is safe for now. And like what you say, he has to scale to a certain level before he's able to really dish the pain onto MINANA EVOS. And MINANA EVOS knows about that, and that's why they're going in for him. But the top lane, here we go.
Harken Dance pins out at Novara Real. Goes off the course. Surmat now killing all the way back, but the rest of MINANA EVOS finds their target. They burst down that mid as well. All the frontliners are gone. They will have to give way for this turret, as there is just way too much pressure being piled upon it. Now MINANA EVOS takes back the lead, and they are 3,000 ahead, just perfectly in time for the Lord as well. So this is not a good sign for Smart Omega.
Oh yeah, Smart Omega, but look at this. They're playing this smartly. Lewis is circling around, so Lewis could probably surprise them from behind. However, he does not have the retribution. He's not a jungler. and lands Black Shoes all the way behind, puts him in an awkward position to be caught out, and Lance will be taken out by Jome. But now the Lord is down to 10% of health. They're almost there. Who's going to land the Retribution? But before there's going to be Matt going down now. That also means that
Lewis.
the Retribution is out. Smart Omega has the opportunity to Retribution and steal away the Lord. And
They do.
enough, they will do so with Ray L there.
And just like that, they turned this one around. They still have all 4 members who are surviving, some of them just by the skin of their teeth. That was way too far along extended. MINANA EVOS have lost Kaizen in the process, and we see a little bit more of a scattered position where there's not really a firm decision on whether or not do they want to cause a bait. Even if you want to bait Smart Omega into the fight, you shouldn't have withered down the Lord all the way down to 5%. And at least now they get the consolation of a pick. Lewis will fall. At least that's one Paquito out of the way.
Ooh, okay. At least there's something there. So we gotta be careful because Domain, as a goal laner, he has the scalability towards the end. And Kaizen stealing away the purple buff. Did he manage to get it? Or was it given to Matt? Okay, Matt managed to steal it away.
Yeah, it seems to be Matt with the buff while there is a Lewis coming in for a flank. This isn't exactly the perfect angle. They still have to deal with the Lord. The damage output coming in from Lilia itself should be able to do the trick. The rest of Smart Omega has got no more business up here. Meanwhile, over the bottom side, you see more of that spacing created by Domain with one crashing wave, and this Paquito will be able to handle it. So another 1.5 minutes. And here comes Hurricane Dance, pinning one to the wall. Astral Recall spots everyone out. A huge Mnne Fury over onto full members, but they don't have what it takes to chunk down MINANA EVOS. Flickers out for the side of Lewis, and now they go in for a swift reset. I would say that could have been a little bit cleaner. I mean, it's still a 1-for-1 trade-off, which isn't exactly too bad, as they managed to eventually put Cramgod further behind. Currently stuck at level 10, while of course everybody else from inside of MINANA EVOS will be able to at least be able to offer just about enough damage by now. But once again, once it hits that very late game phase, you only have the Bruno as well as pretty much the leader to do majority of these numbers. But for the side of Smart Omega, by then, that Brody's absolutely gonna hit so much harder, even despite Paquito being a pretty much on the tankier side. It still offers a lot of raw damage on all his abilities, so it's still not going to be an easy game for MINANA EVOS, despite them having the control of the map for the time being.
Well, yeah, to be fair on that heavy spin, it was probably opportunity taken. So if he were to let that go, then he probably wouldn't get a pinned up at all. So it was just like, okay, whether you want to go for it or not, I guess it's like, there's no right or wrong to it, right? And if his teammates were close by with it, then definitely they'll get that kill. But now, let's see if they can pull off another heavy spin like this, as Kaizen is ready with his heavy spin. But Smart Omega obviously smart enough not to group up in that manner, so no real opportunity just yet.
Here we go, a collapse right over in the back. Connie trying to look for an angle for the circling eagle. They found their target over onto Cramgod. Still has a little bit more of a killing capability, and now they do get that huge Mnne Fury of a knockup. Does not really wither down the rest of MINANA EVOS. They will extend this form of trait. It will last a little bit longer, 50% over on Lord. But the longer MINANA EVOS stays, they eventually will collapse. Look at the flank. Rael is in position, and Lewis regroups, and there is going to be Domain that is being spotted out. But they are now giving chase towards the side of the Novaria. It's a long reset coming into the Lord, and it's still not anyone taken down just yet. But they're now looking for a catch over onto the Paquito, which isn't exactly going to be cut it as well. So this dance, somebody's got to eventually take a seat eventually. So Sir Matt, always on the ball. He's looking for his opportunity to go in for a retribution. Can he get another still in the back?
Oh,
Now the target will be Lancey. That will be the Black Shoes now being utilized, and the rest of Smart Omega respecting the area of play.
here we go. The Lord resets itself. Thanks to Lewis as well, coming from the back line, putting pressure onto MINANA EVOS, forcing them to back out on the Lord, and now the Lord is back in full health. Smart Omega will restart the fight, but looks like they're going for an engagement.
Requiem hitting right on top of the right target. Emilio takes down Lord Jam. No front line of the engagement, but they are not having enough health first. But this still goes true. My word! As much as they lose all of their members except for Rios, will serve that. I believe the Vikings actually have been another one in the back for Smart Omega. And now would be pretty much difficult for them to actually defend with even more to go. Actually, was MINANA EVOS with the Lord, so they could just pile on with the pressure. What a long exchange that it has been, my friend. It took like what, 4 to 5 fights before they could actually conclude with the result.
Yeah, and it had to be started by Smart Omega, in which they started on Lord JM, one of the tankier heroes. So I don't know about that. Yes, they got Lord JM at the end of the day. However, a lot of skills expanded on them and the counter happened. But speaking of counter now on the top lane, you can see that Matt managed to get away to safety. Almost bursted down. But at this moment, MINANA EVOS, they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and I also want to point out some of their spells, right? They took triple Revitalize, which they could just easily regen in the middle of a fight, which is why these fights are taking so much longer than intended. Circling Eagle onto Cram God. That's only to secure a little bit more of room to take down that inhibitor turret while the Lord works his way up bound bot. This is where they are going to be seeing whether or not this is diveable for the rest of MINANA EVOS.
Well, looks like they're going to prioritize clearing up the lanes first, so no big moves yet from either side. But MINANA EVOS monitoring the situation. It's just that the turret is still active, and it's not like it's going to be worth it, because can you imagine that Lord JN jumps in, and then the Requiem comes in to retaliate? So they'll be caught underneath of the turret. So that's why we don't see MINANA EVOS going in just yet, knowing that the Kidopera is there.
And there's also the Paquito as well to also lock one target down. They will just continue to clear off the mid wave if they could, but the dives are setting right in. Here comes the Hurricane Dance, pushing right through. The Requiem comes up online, and this is that perfect opportunity, but there is the immortality on top of the Akai. They will keep themselves alive for much, much longer. And how swiftly they cleared off the wave. Only with a few minutes left, they will still land a couple of blows. Immortality still up for side of Lord JM. They still want more. And here comes Honey looking for that circling eagle angle. And it will still be Crab God eliminated. The Minotaur's down. What can they do? They need to take out all the minions. And MINANA EVOS ties the series. And we are going all the way here to game 3.
Well, I hope